What is going on, people inside that internet machine? Welcome to this episode. Now, I don't normally make drama or gaming topical related content, every day. But when I start seeing these same big YouTubers in my feed and splattered all over the YouTube homepage for bad reasons, as someone that's in the gaming community, loves the gaming community, I feel that we sort of have to talk about it. How disappointing are some of these big YouTubers? They have fame, fortune, the glitz, the glamour. They get to live their dream of being a professional YouTuber, supporting their lifestyle, making videos, and inevitably, they screw it up. So the first YouTuber that's been coming across my board all day, every day, just crammed down your throat, is Boogie2988. Now, honestly, I thought this guy died 2 years ago. I didn't even know he was still alive, but it's woe is me, ask for money time. So he's resurfacing on YouTube. So I watched this documentary. I forget who did the documentary, and Boogie's going through his whole thing about, I invested in crypto and I don't have any of this money, and it's just bizarre to me. Like, bro, you had your shot and you fucked it up. That's on you. That is not on your subscriber base to pay for your lifestyle. He honestly feels like he is entitled for all of you to pay for him. And this has been going on his YouTube channel. I don't know, he said he's been doing YouTube for 17 years. So let's say 16 years he's been doing this, where he goes through this, I have all this and this and that, and then all of a sudden something happens. I need your money, give $5, this and that. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And we see bigger YouTube channels go through this all the time. They go through these phases where it's like, I love my community and I'm very happy to have an audience and I'm very blessed to be able to do YouTube for a living. And then they get to a certain level and all of a sudden it's Patreon time. It's, give me money time. It's, I know I made $500,000 last year, but, I need some home repairs done. Send me on a trip. I'm building a museum, all this kind of nonsense. And I'm sort of tired of it. It's actually starting to upset me. Before, it's like, eBaggers, Patreon, hide behind the paywall, whatever. Buy my merch. I'm good with buy my merch. I don't have a problem with that. But then they started doing the in-video sponsors and all that stuff. And Boogie's one of these guys that has built up an audience of $4.5 million or million subscribers. By YouTube standards, bro, you have made it. You should be able to use that brand and generate revenue for the rest of your life. Even though I hate his content and I think he's a horrible person, for whatever reason, 4.5 million people felt compelled to subscribe to his channel. So this guy cannot get out of his own way. First and foremost, he has very serious maturity issues. His finances are a mess. The way he treats women are a mess. The entitlement is an absolute dumpster fire on his part. I mean, I don't know how you're so unlikable and build up that type of audience. But more specifically in this documentary, he has to go get a real job. Now, this is sort of where I kind of got upset a little bit. I had a little bit of an emotional reaction because he sort of mentioned in this ad or in the interview section, she was some professional that she was trying to help him prepare for job interviews. It wasn't an actual job interview. And you could tell that he was sandbagging the whole time. And one of the things that he mentioned was that he was a pedo, right? And he later comes out and says, I was just joking, putting it on for the cameras and this and that. Here's the thing, weirdo. One, that's not funny. That's not a bit you should do, professor. The second thing is, in my line of work, that's called an excited utterance, meaning that the suspect or the person that you're interviewing will say things to try and throw you off that are actually true, but they'll try and get you to think that it's not true. Like, there's no way I could have murdered that guy. Look at me, I'm 5'3". no, you're probably the murderer, right? So the other thing is, like, he has these mental issues that he says, no, I'm not making it up. He has depression, anxiety, all these medical issues. And along with what he said in that interview, it makes sense. His girlfriend, he's like 50, she's 20. I'll put a picture right here. She looks like she's about 14 years old. And by her own admittance, she has daddy issues as well. This is very toxic. And he is not mature enough to understand that my life is in shambles. Maybe I shouldn't be dating right now. Because all he's gonna do is rip this girl in half. All right, she's gonna be scarred for the rest of her life when this goes bad, when this relationship goes bad. Now, I will say, consenting adults, do what you want, but you know what? Neither of these people are in a position to where they are competent and responsible authorities over their own lives, and they should probably not be in a relationship. Let me say it that way. And I honestly, I would not leave my child, my teenage daughter, in a room alone with Boogie2988. Absolutely not. So if you think that that was okay for him to say that, I don't know what to say to you, but that was absolutely disgusting. He's another one of these high-level e-beggars that wants you to sympathize with him because he failed to take control over his own life and has completely screwed it up. So yeah, Boogie2988, one of the worst scumbags on YouTube, needs to be deplatformed. And every bad thing that's happened to him, he has created. It is his fault. Do not sympathize with him. Do not give him money. Don't do anything for him. He made his bed and now he has to lay in it. He is a sick, demented, twisted individual who actually, again, here we go, had a troll come to his house, and instead of saying, go away, and when the person did, call the police and have that guy get arrested for criminal trespass, knowingly remaining on the land or premise of another without permission to do so, and take care of the problem that way because he has impulse issues, goes out onto his front porch, fires a handgun as a warning shot in a residential neighborhood. Depression, anxiety, all these impulse issues, and somehow he's allowed to own a gun. Now, maybe they do that a little bit different in Arkansas, but in Ohio, we call that carrying a firearm under disability, and it is punishable by law. Now, that case went through court. They got what he got. It's public records. You could look it up. I think it's Washington County, Arkansas. Just go in there, type in Steve Williams, and you will be able to see all the public record documents from that incident. But this guy is an absolute scumbag and needs to be off the platform. Now, the second guy is Jirard, the Completionist, and this came through like Karl, Jobst, and SomeOrdinaryGamers. I saw their videos today. Those are all big YouTube channels, so they don't really need my shout out or help or anything, but I'll leave links to those videos down below. That way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check them out because they do a much better job of explaining things in a particular order that kind of makes sense. But Jirard was caught with $655,000 in his nonprofit, which is a legit 501c3. It's got a tax code, you can look it up, but SomeOrdinaryGamers went through every year from 2014 of this guy's tax forms or returns for this 501c3, and it was like they generated X amount of dollars in revenue, they paid like $11,000 in admin fees, and on the balance line, $0 donated to any charity whatsoever. And there's like a 10-year history of this, and because they've never donated any of this money, there's about $655,000 sitting in this account. Now, when confronted with this information, Jirard says, well, I didn't know that the money wasn't being donated. Okay, let's pretend we live on Fantasy Island. Let's pretend he's being sincere. Let's pretend that because he's got other things to do and the Completionist brand to worry about, that he has somebody that does that for him. All right, let's pretend all that. You're still the quarterback of the team. It is your responsibility to know that that money is being donated. Hey man, did we donate that money? Cool, let me see the form. All right, now I'm gonna go on YouTube and brag about it. Hey, we donated $100,000, right? That's how it should work. That is not the case. This money has just been sitting there, and he's known that it hasn't been donated since 2021. So if he comes out and says, oh, I didn't know until recently, bull. He said on like a video call, StreamYard type thing that he knew it was in there in 2021. So not only did he know that it was in there in 2021, he knows that there haven't been any donations in the last 2 years. This is the new wave of e-banking. It used to be, Patreon, my content's behind a paywall. It used to be, if you don't subscribe, I'm gonna, or if you don't donate, I'm gonna shut down the live stream like DSP, and all these other things. Pay for my museum, pay for my Japan trip, pay for my basement flooding. Now, it's a little bit more subtle because they're coming at you with these nonprofit organizations and charity. You're not donating the money to me. You're doing the right thing and you're giving it to this charity, which then I, when you're not looking, will facilitate a secondary donation to another cause. And then you never see that money again. Stop giving these people money. Now, you can say what you want. I typically think the worst because I'm a little bit more of a pessimist. I don't think he had any intention of donating this money, to be honest. This was his YouTube retirement money. If the YouTube thing fell off or he just decided I wanted to retire, he was gonna find some way. There are 1,000 ways to get monies out of 501c3s. Politicians do it all the time. So don't tell me that Jirard can't do it. And go somewhere and live in the sunset, go off in the sunset, get his little beach house, whatever he wants. I don't think in any way, shape, or form that this is legit. I didn't know. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that you didn't know. And like I said, you're responsible for what happens with your foundation. The other thing that's very suspect about this is that he has his brother and his dad helping run this foundation. Never have family involved in this type of business. It lends itself to way too much corruption and it looks suspect as hell just on face value. I looked up Khalil's, Jirard's brother. What's his job? And it just says family office. That's what it says. What's their family business? I don't know. They could sell furniture or have an auto shop. Who knows? But it just says family office. It's so sketch. And there's no way that this in any way, shape, or form is absolutely legit. Now, from watching these other videos, Jirard is very into giving to dementia research and helping dementia patients because his mother had dementia and unfortunately she passed away. So definitely condolences there. I lost my biological mother when I was 14, so I know what it's like to lose a mom, so I can definitely empathize with him on that regard. But I think that makes it even worse, that it's a cause that's very, very close to you, a cause that touched you, and you are so negligent in your duties. Actually, I wouldn't even say negligent, I would say reckless, because the definition of reckless is with heedless indifference to the outcome. You didn't give a shit. You didn't care enough every year to sit down with your tax guy or anybody in your organization and say, how much money did we give to whatever dementia research place, right? That is absolute reckless on your part. And in these conversations that Jirard had with Karl and Some Ordinary Gamers, he's very worried about his image. He's worried about protecting that brand. And where do we see this type of behavior? When colleges and universities screw up, when police departments screw up, when politicians screw up, the first thing that they do is they try and protect their brand. They try and protect that original moneymaker, which for him is that channel and the Completionist brand. So I wrote down some quotes here. So he's on this conversation, he says, "It's on me, I'm responsible." Good, take responsibility for your screw up. But then he says things like, I was gonna donate the money today, but if I donated the money today, it would look like he, Jirard, was trying to hide it. He's admitting guilt by doing that. He's saying, if I donated the money, I would look guilty. No, your mens rea makes you guilty. Your guilty mind makes you guilty, bruh. So he goes on to say, it would make me look like a scumbag. So he already knows how this looks. I'm gonna take responsibility, but I'm gonna deflect. I would have given the money away, but I didn't because you guys would think I was a scumbag. Too late, bro. And the damning evidence that I found is really in his benefactor. You know, he basically said he didn't know this money was there, but then goes on to say, well, I didn't want to donate it, and then it goes to pay some doctor's salary. Well, which one is it? You didn't know it was there, or you didn't want to donate it because you didn't think that donating it to a doctor's salary was a worthwhile cause. Remember, this money isn't like 2 months old and he's just trying to find someone to donate it to. This has been going on since 2014. So if Jirard wants to get out of it with his image intact, he wants to try and get out of this scot-free, he needs to accept responsibility, 100%. Then he needs to explain his mistake, what actually happened, then donate the money to benefactor X, company X, research lab X, and then show proof that he actually donated that money. The other problem that I have is when there are a lot of tax rules that go along with having a 501c3, and you can't use any of those funds for personal usage. But he's also admitted that he's taken a couple $1,000s out of there to pay himself back or to reimburse himself for stuff. And it's like, okay, well, you reimburse yourself from your 501c3 charity that you're not supposed to do anyway. What'd you reimburse yourself for? Show me a receipt for that. Was it work? Did you have to buy lighting materials or pens or something? Like, show me a money track that leads me to believe that, you know what, he did spend $1,000 out of his personal wallet, and then, you know, for the charity, and then he's taking $1,000 out to pay himself back. Even though you can't do that, at least that would be something, right? There would be some explanation for why he's now dipping into his pot and dipping into his proverbial YouTube retirement pocket, his charity. And now it's not that hard to believe that he's going to use this for his own personal piggy bank, his YouTube retirement fund, as I like to call it. But anyway, you know, I think the integrity of a lot of these larger YouTubers, especially in the gaming space, I don't know about the other spaces, is absolutely gone. They can't get out of their own way. They get to a certain level and it's all about dollars and cents. How much money can I get out of my audience and how frequently? You'll notice a trend. Big convention coming up. All your favorite big time YouTubers start streaming, and that super chat is open, baby. These are all the things that they are doing to us. The smaller YouTube channels that just want to exist on the space, share our awesome love for gaming, sometimes VHS tapes and old Transformers, just kind of depends. And they take up so much of our time and our real estate in this space. Even channels that are like smaller, 10,000 to 80,000, you'll see all the time that they make videos that they don't want to make. If Super Mario Brothers 3 is topicking, they will make Super Mario Brothers 3, the retrospective, to try and pump up views to get that revenue. Which I'm all, listen, make the videos that you want to make, and if they do well, then great, man. You find your niche and just be good at that, you know. But quite honestly, these guys aren't trustworthy. And we can run through the Sniper Wolfs, the John Hancocks, the Metal Jesuses, all of these people, bigger YouTubers, let you down. So don't support them. Don't give them anything, especially money. Don't send crap to Woodhawker for free, because these people are just taking advantage of you. That's why I support smaller YouTube channels all day, every day. I love those guys. I love the gaming space, love the gaming community. Let me know what you guys think about Boogie2988 resurfacing like a bad penny. The guy won't go away, and he should. And this whole nonsense with Jirard having over $650,000 in his little side account, his little slush fund that he's supposed to be donating, but he's never donated. Just remember that that was your dollars. Those are the people that you chose to give to, if you chose to give to them. I feel bad for you. I really do. But you guys, they will never learn if you guys keep supporting them. Those guys should have 0 subscribers, and you should go find a small gaming channel under 10,000 subscribers that you really enjoy, subscribe and hit that notification bell, like, comment, do all those things. That actually makes the gaming space better. Not listening to these guys. Anyway, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, share on social media. Don't forget to bang that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of your CM retro gaming goodness. Guys, take care of yourselves, and we will see you on the next one.